The Punisher had her mauled by polar bears, but she didn't die. She came back more unhinged than ever. Now let's get into the video and find out who is Ma Gnucci. Frank Castle, the Punisher, had just returned to New York. To reintroduce himself to the New York underworld, he launched a war on the powerful Gnucci family. Ma Gnucci was the matriarch of the crime family, with her brother Dino and her 3 sons, Eddie, Bobby, and Carlo, forming the core of her organization. When Ma realized that the Punisher was targeting her family, she immediately tried to force the police to take him down. But the department, eager to look cooperative while doing nothing, assigned the case to Detective Martin Soap, an officer they knew would never catch Frank Castle. The Punisher's war began with a message. He killed her 3 sons, Eddie, Bobby, and Carlo, one after the other. Ma responded by hiring mercenaries, but Frank outsmarted all of them. He spent the next several weeks dismantling her organization, killing her men all across the city as part of his plan to wear down her defenses. Ma's first direct encounter with the Punisher came after one of her men spotted him tailing her and shot him. Wounded, Frank fled into the Central Park Zoo, and Ma, flanked by her bodyguards, followed him inside. One by one, the Punisher killed her guards creatively with animals in the zoo as they chased him through the exhibits. Soon, it was only Ma and one of her lackeys left. They saw the Punisher leap into a polar bear enclosure, and determined to make him pay for killing her family, she ordered her last man to go in and help her down into the pit. As they were entering the pit, Frank agitated the bears by punching one of them in the nose. With the bears hot on his tail, Frank sprinted past Ma and used her lackey's back as a springboard to hop out of the pit. Before Ma and her lackey could react, the polar bears tore into them. Ma somehow survived, but at the cost of losing all 4 limbs, and her scalp was horrifically scarred. After the attack, she became far more unhinged. When her cousin Stevie asked her how she was doing while she was recovering in the hospital, she ordered one of her men to shoot him. When that man hesitated, she ordered another to shoot them both. When the second hesitated, she ordered a third to shoot all 3. By the end, 2 of her men and her cousin lay dead. Consumed by vengeance, Ma put a $10 million bounty on the Punisher's head. It only took days for a man to approach her with the location of Frank's hideout. After her men confirmed the intel, she sent a squad to kill him. Frank slaughtered most of the squad but was severely wounded. The survivors returned to Ma begging for reinforcements, but Ma, furious, told them there were no more reinforcements. The Punisher had killed 80 of her men over the past few weeks. She ordered them to go back and find Frank's exact apartment. At the apartment complex, they captured Spacker Dave, who knew where Frank lived, but the Punisher, despite his injuries, killed the men and saved Dave. Realizing that she was outmatched, she placed a desperate call to the man known as the Russian. She then called the other crime families asking for help, but they told her she was on her own. Then, to Ma's surprise, the Russian showed up. Ma gave him a photo of the Punisher and sent him to the apartment complex to kill Castle. The Russian and the Punisher engaged in a brutal, drawn-out fight. For most of the fight, the Russian held the upper hand, but in the end, Frank was victorious due to sheer creativity and desperation. Thrown through a doorway and into his morbidly obese neighbor's apartment, he scrambled for anything he could use. He hurled a steaming hot pizza into the Russian's face. Then he pushed his neighbor, Mr. Bumpo, on top of the Russian and used the sheer bulk of his neighbor to pin the Russian down until he died from asphyxiation. Frank then drove straight to the Gnucci estate, holding the Russian's severed head like a trophy. The sight broke what little loyalty Ma had left. Her remaining men dropped their weapons and walked away, refusing to face the Punisher. The Punisher entered her home, poured gasoline across her room, and walked out. He then tossed a grenade inside, igniting the fuel and engulfing the mansion in flames. But even with no limbs, Ma still refused to die quietly. She hurled herself out of a window, landed at Frank's feet, and bit into his ankle with a feral determination. Frank told her to go back to hell before kicking her back into the flames. Now don't bail on me like Ma Gnucci's men. Please hang around long enough to hit the like button, leave a comment, and maybe even subscribe. Well, that's the origin of the Marvel character Ma Gnucci, and that does it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Peace.